Hi guys, this is Karina Eskandari, the founder of Eskandari Real Estate, and I'm here to give you your weekly updates on the Toronto real estate market. Let's get right into it. This week, I wanted to talk about multiple offers and bidding wars. That's because they are back, people. Bidding wars are back. I know we thought that we could avoid them, but unfortunately with the lack of supply, they are very much back in full force. And just yesterday, I had an offer for my buyers. We were competing against 16 others, and I've seen much worse in the past few weeks. Now, what I'm going to talk about today is how to win a bidding war, because there are things you can do as a buyer to help improve your offer. So the first thing I want to talk about is why do we have bidding wars and why do agents price properties that way? There's a few reasons. The main reason being we want to control, as the agent for the seller, most of the elements that come with the offer. Because if you have a successful bidding war, you typically are able to achieve your desired closing date. You should be able to achieve an unconditional offer, which is extremely important. You should be able to get the bank draft in your hand, and you also seem to, most of the time, get someone who outbids and overpays by a little bit to give you that premium. Now, that does not always work, and it really depends on the market we're in and the type of product. So if you have a property, we're finding now actually, the properties that are successfully getting bids and are successfully being sold in a bidding war are finished, renovated, ready to go products. If we were talking about the peak of the market in 2022, almost every listing was taking on this strategy for a few reasons. One being, it was so unpredictable where pricing was going that sometimes the listing agents genuinely didn't know how to price the property because every week there was a new record of price point. So this was their way of letting the market dictate the value of the home. So nowadays, properties that are not renovated don't seem to be getting multiple bids, and certain pockets are also not in the market climate to receive a bidding war. So make sure you know what's going on in your pocket and your agent is experienced with what is happening with what's going on in your neighborhood exactly. Now, you want to win a bidding war. How can you do that? While the majority of it, yes, comes down to price, I'm here to give you a few other hacks and tips to make your offer stand out from the rest. Number one, we need to try to eliminate your conditions. An offer with conditions will be viewed not in a great light compared to an offer that has no conditions, even if the price of the conditional offer is higher. Every seller is a little bit different, and some sellers may be willing to take the risk with a conditional offer. But if we're talking about a 20 grand difference potentially, the seller may choose the offer that has no conditions instead of the one that does. This is because they know this is a done deal, and the buyer has not wasted the momentum of a week of marketing and could potentially walk away. Now, if you are uncomfortable with not having a home inspection condition, and if the listing agent has not made a pre-list home inspection, what can you do? You can have a home inspector come and do a home inspection prior to the offer date. So you book a time with your agent, have your inspector come in and do the inspection before putting your offer to make sure you are comfortable with all the terms of this house. In terms of financing, what can you do? This is why you should always be pre-approved. Have a very close relationship with the mortgage advisor that you're working with and send them the listing beforehand and let them know what price you're expecting to go at. Obviously, this is not a firm approval, as they will need to actually have the underwriter go through, the appraisal go through for the specific home, but at least you can do and crunch your numbers to ensure that the value you're offering is within your affordability. So now we've covered those two condition terms. What else can we do to make our offer more attractive? The second thing you can do would be your deposit. The stronger your deposit is, the more favorable it will be in the seller's eyes, because they will have confidence in you financially as the buyer because you have the liquid cash. The more deposit you put, the more skin they feel you have in the game, and you don't walk away from this deal. Now, in order to make sure your deposit is also seen in a favorable light, make sure you get a bank draft for offer night and attach it with your listing. If your agent is able to present in person, have them take the draft and have it in their folder and present the draft along with your offer. A draft is also more useful if your offer does not have any conditions, but it's still better to have than to not have. So make sure you get your bank draft. Don't be lazy. Go to the bank. I've had clients win bidding wars just because they had a bank draft, even if their price was not as strong. What else can you do to make your offer more attractive? Make sure you know what the seller wants as their closing date, and do your very best to give them the exact date that they want. Closing dates make a very big difference. If you can only close later, that means the seller has to carry the home and the mortgage for an additional month with maintenance fees, and they'll account for that in the pricing. Some sellers are closing on another home, and it's extremely important to them that they get their funds out in time so they can close on the other property. So having the closing date align with the seller's expectations will give you a huge advantage in order to win this bidding war. So ask those questions. The fourth tip that I would suggest, it does not work with every seller, but sometimes a personal note or cover letter can make a difference. Include information about yourself, why your jobs, why you feel you are financially sound, and the seller can basically relate to you, and explain why you love the home so much. Some investors will just look at numbers at the end of the day, but there are times you will catch a seller that is emotionally connected to the home and will want a family over just an investor who's going to tear the home down and build a new home. So make sure you do offer that custom cover letter, because it could make a big difference. Finally, obviously the biggie, price. But with price, the only thing, I'm not going to stand here and tell you to just offer more money, because obviously that's not you. Everyone has a limit, right? But I would say have an honest conversation with whoever the decision makers are prior to that offer night and the heat of everything, to understand what is genuinely the top of your budget. What I typically tell my clients is, if you wake up tomorrow morning and you found out that it's sold for X amount more, would you be upset? And if the answer is yes, that probably means they could have offered that additional amount to bump them up. So always go with just your final and best, because you may not have a chance to improve. If we're in a situation that has many offers, the listing agent might just take the top 3 and only potentially give those 3 the chance to improve. If you're way off the first time, you may not have that opportunity. So however you're going to go to bed at night and sleep comfortably for whatever you valued for that home, make sure you give it your honest effort, or else you could wake up extremely upset when you didn't need to. For more great tips on how to secure a home during a bidding war or a heated market, please contact me and my team, and we will assist you through the entire process. For more great real estate tips, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. If you're looking to book a complimentary appointment with me, you can do so via the Calendly link below.